Warning, this video contains vulgar language. If you are easily offended by strong language, it is suggested that you avoid this video.
Uwe Bolls. What can a person say about the man who has made horrible movies for the specific purpose of exploiting German tax law? One of his favorite targets are video games, because there's already a target audience and they can get vicious when someone messes with their beloved property. Today we're going to talk about Bolls' most true-to-source material video game movie. A movie that has 8% critic score and 33% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Postal. I'm Ollamh, and welcome to Geek Corner Review. We start off with a joke that may sound familiar to Family Guy fans. Starting off on September 11th, 2001, with two terrorists complaining about how many virgins they are promised in heaven. The scene ends with a window washer turning just in time to see the plane crash into the tower. That's right. As untasteful as the joke is in Family Guy's episode Back to the Woods, it is actually a reference to the movie Postal. Finally, we are introduced to the Postal Dude, as he is later called. He's having a fight with his wife, walks out to go to a job interview, and steps into a pile of dog shit. What kind of way is this to introduce your main character? Well, this is one of those points that is actually spot on with the source material. Just check out the opening to the game.
What the?
Apparently, the local convenience store is a secret hiding spot for the Taliban, which seems a little out of place until you realize that terrorists were a plot point in the second and third Postal games. And quickly we move on to Uncle Dave. Apparently, Uncle Dave is the messiah of an apocalypse cult known as the Denomination of Organic Monotheism, or Doom. They cater to people who are disillusioned with the American dream. Come to find out, the community is in trouble. The IRS does not recognize them as a religion and doesn't accept the idea of the end of the world, meaning that they won't contribute to long-term plans. And what the hell? I did not need to see Dave Foley of Kids in the Hall fame giving us full frontal nudity. We are then introduced to another villain of the movie, a police officer that is extremely xenophobic against foreigners and racist against Asians. When the lady in the car in front of him doesn't move and the language barrier prevents any meaningful discourse, he shoots her no less than 5 times. Quality cinema. The Postal Dude, meanwhile, decides to go into a coffee shop, and what the fuck? Did they blackmail Seymour Castle and David Huddleston into cameos? Seriously, guys, there are much better movies you can do to pay the bills. So this scene seems to be only there to introduce the loosest definition of love interest ever. PD takes his coffee to Uncle Dave, who is actually his uncle.
I mean, all these fucking idiots calling me Uncle Dave, and here I am, actually, I'm your Uncle Dave.
Thank you for the exposition. Apparently, the cult was the Postal Dude's idea originally. Uncle Dave explains the troubles and wants help. We get some rather forced exposition about why the Postal Dude is in his current horrible state. And no, I don't mean going from movies like A Christmas Story and Transformers to a somehow worse movie like Postal. So the Postal Dude decides it's time to head to the welfare office and get his check. A disgruntled guy decides to cause trouble and winds up shooting up the office, while the Postal Dude crawls around trying to get his hands on the next number. He manages to get a hold of it just in time to go up to the desk as they close up the office. Deciding to call it a day, PD decides to head back home to find his neighbor having sex with his wife. The guy very casually greets him and searches through the kitchen.
Gotta find the wet spout.
Get it? 'Cause she's fat. The jokes just write themselves, and if they don't, steal them from 5-year-olds back in the 80s. Postal Dude calls his Uncle Dave for a loan, just enough to get out of town. He gets stuck up by a troublemaker that was trying to beg money off of him earlier and scam people at the welfare office. Ultimately, the mugger gets shot as the two wrestle for his gun. Personally, I feel his pain. I think he shot himself just to get out of this fucking movie. We cut to Osama bin Laden filming one of his terrorist videos. Come to find out, he's got a perfect American accent. He's not really the brains of the Taliban, but just the face. They apparently have some plan with a shipment of crotchy dolls. And so does Uncle Dave and Postal Dude. There are only 2,000 of them out of a huge shipment, and one sold at auction for $4,000. Here's the start of the second act, plotting and execution of the heist.
And 2,000 times $4,000 is
That's like, no, it's 800.
no, it's 8.
We see the Postal Dude steal a delivery truck while our good honest police officer shows his villainy yet again by picking up a disabled person he puts out on the street as a beggar to collect money. Since he didn't make enough money, apparently that means no bath this month. And Harry is kept in the police officer's garage. And I'm sure this has a point somewhere. So the crotchy dolls are coming in to be sold in the area of the town known as Little Germany. The Postal Dude realizes that Uncle Dave wrote a Bible for these people. Meanwhile, the Taliban is planning a hit in the same time, and bin Laden is apparently in good ties with George W. Bush, because topical humor and stuff. And really, they got poor Vern Troyer in this movie too? This movie was so bad they couldn't get Gary Coleman to reprise his part from the fucking game. We cut to scenes from Little Germany, like Lando Lederhosen and Hasselhoff's Sausage House and... Oh, what the fuck, Uwe? You put a concentration camp playground in the movie with directions as turn right after the gas chamber? No wonder he never shows up in his own movies.
I'm here at the theme park Little Germany with owner and controversial director Uwe Bolls. Uwe.
Oh. Well, I guess this has his official stamp of approval. Continue.
But I want to use that situation here where I'm live in TV, and I want to explain a little about the financing of my movies and also from Little Germany where the money comes from.
That's right. Uwe Boll actually shows his face in the movie and jokes about the source of the money for his movies, and how he exploits tax laws. Apparently, in the movie's canon anyway, he finances his movies with Nazi gold. He also goes on to tell the TV host on live television that he gets very horny around the crowds, especially with all the children.
I get a little horny here on stage sometimes. If you see the crowd and all the children.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Apparently, the key to sneaking into Little Germany is wearing a Hitler mustache and swastika armbands. The women use good old-fashioned sexism to get rid of the security guards around the shipment of dolls. And the men, in what I can only assume is the eschewing of traditional gender roles, lets the ladies do all the loading of the dolls into the van. As the second act finishes up, the terrorists show up and try and stop the cult from getting the crotchy dolls. And just in case you were worried that the movie wasn't as bloody and violent as the game, the creator of the Postal games is dressed up as crotchy and starts fighting with Uwe Boll. I imagine that is what every video game creator who has ever worked with Boll wants to do. Now, there is a small blink and you'll miss it reference in their fight. Notice that Uwe suddenly has a boxing glove on his hand. That is because he is well known for challenging critics of his movies to boxing matches. But soon a gun is produced and a firefight starts, creating the much-awaited bloodbath. In true irreverence, Uwe Bolls, the police, and the terrorists wind up gunning down every single child in the area. But at least Uwe Bolls gets what's coming to him when he's killed by a gunshot to the crotch. We start the third act with the heroes, and I use that term very loosely, in possession of the dolls, the terrorists in possession of the compound, and the police and citizens hunting the postal dude. Apparently, the terrorists have hidden vials of avian bird flu in the dolls and plan to spread it around via the uber-popular dolls.
Do you think we can sneak in past the Taliban without them finding out?
Wait, did that actor completely flub his lines and just not say most of the words? Yes, he did. And they used the take. Hey, do you want to do another take? Nah, we'll just have it done as a voiceover since he's moving behind everybody. Nobody'll notice. Bullshit. I noticed. While taking the van to hide it, the postal dude, now officially labeled as such, notices that the police are blaming him with an extremely old picture. The citizens, though, decide to chase him, and the convenience store clerk helps him escape, because hey, he's still in the movie. But while running out the back of the convenience store, he is found by the police. Our hero escapes, though, and dresses up as a cop. Vern Troyer points out that this disguise makes him even more of an asshole, and they sneak into the compound to find the secret bunker. It's so secret that even Uncle Dave doesn't know about it, and it's in his bedroom. Here we see the postal dude using a cat as a silencer, shooting through the cat's body and leaving it alive, because hey, they did it in the video game. And actually that part is true. They did. Apparently the crotchy dolls, Vern Troyer, and everything has been part of the apocalypse that Uncle Dave wrote into his Bible. And the verse goes... Shit, I can't even. I'm just gonna let Chris Coppola explain it.
And you shall know when the final day of reckoning begins, because on that day a tiny entertainer will be raped by 1,000 monkeys.
Yep, Troyer is going to be raped by 1,000 monkeys. And this clip...
Bring on the monkeys!
I love this clip.
Bring on the monkeys!
Is there any better quote from this movie?
I don't fucking know. I got nothing to do with this shit.
No, there isn't.
Bring on the monkeys!
Osama, because he can't be in the middle of the action, is actually taking in a management course. And how the hell would anybody in 2007 not recognize him? To the point where his credit card is run and they still don't say anything.
It looks like every free government on the planet has frozen your assets.
Long story short, Richie kills Uncle Dave and puts the postal dude in a cell and goes after the dolls. Well, after showing his feelings for Uncle Dave. Postal Dude escapes, arms himself to the teeth, takes the ladies, and they shoot their way out of the compound. True to action movie tropes, with the world going crazy, everyone out to kill him, they have time for a little lovemaking. Yup, 2 minutes of it, including the time to smoke a cigarette.
Speaking of wild shit.
Fuck! Are you two still here? I would have thought you would have found a movie 10 times better to sit in. I mean, even Abe Vigoda didn't do things this bad.
Still works in fast food, huh?
I should have died years ago.
Tough break.
God damn it, Abe. Oh, hey, remember that love interest? Well, it's time for them to meet up and declare their love for one another.
Yeah, you ever get like a hangnail? What the hell was that?
What? No. Screw the screwing and go back for a moment. Did they kill a baby for no other reason than a fucking hangnail? We get a nice long shootout at the trailer park, and I mean everyone shows up to shoot at each other. The Postal dude actually gets them to stop as he tries to get them to put down their weapons and hug it out.
Hug?
Truer to life than other movies, they decide to start shooting again. They destroy his car, but still don't kill him and his love. Finally, they manage to escape the trailer park after bin Laden calls George W. for an extraction. An emergency broadcast from the president says that due to the governments of China and India being responsible for the terror cell in paradise, and we're still continuing to make t-shirts for under $1, we are kicking off the nuclear war. Postal Dude says his ending catchphrase from the game, "I regret nothing," and sets off the bomb in the trailer park, raining down parts of his now ex-wife all over everyone. In the last few shots of the movie, we see atomic bombs raining down over a field as George W. Bush and Osama bin Laden skip hand in hand. Yep, they're just as screwed as everyone else. So that is Postal, an ultra-violent and disgusting movie based on an ultra-violent and disgusting video game. Many would say this is quite possibly the worst movie ever put out. It's pointless, absurd, and offensive. While there are worse films out there, they would be right in their summary of the film. I have to say, though, I fucking love this movie. I grew up with the original Postal game, the third-person shooter that plays more like a journal for a serial killer. And I got Postal 2 when it came out in 2003. I like nonsensical shit. I like violence. I like disgusting humor. This movie actually captures what the games were like. Now, I said it before. Uwe Bolls actually managed to capture the essence of the source material. It wasn't a shot-for-shot movie of the game, but a really good adaptation. From stepping in dog shit at the beginning to some of the different spots visited in the games, it has a lot of the same characters and everyone turning together against the Postal Dude. Hell, even the cat silencer and blowing up the town at the end. It is a wild ride that fans of the game really should love. I accept that not everyone is going to feel the same way, but for what the movie is based on, it's a damn good movie. The only thing they really didn't take from the game was the Postal Dude pissing in an innocent person's mouth until they threw up. But hey, you can't have it all. So what do you think? How many of you have actually seen the movie or played the game? How would you rate it? What were your favorite parts? Please leave a comment down below or hit us up on Twitter and let us know. We would love to hear what you have to say. As always, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!
Bring on the monkeys!
Yeah, this is... Tomorrow Corporation, you are evil, evil bastards.
action movie starring Dolph Lundgren. The movie was based more on the original toy line idea than the cartoon series, so was darker and more violent